Hi, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Human Design with Leanne MacDonald. So, I want to talk about my favorite aura type, being the manifestors. Um, when I first started looking into human design and just kind of knowing a few manifestors, as a projector, I found the navigation of this energy quite interesting. And it wasn't until I furthered my understanding in human design and really got to understand the dynamics between the projector and the manifestor auras and the relationship there. And then also, I have a son who's a manifestor as well, and kind of really observing his behavior and then meeting aligned manifestors and really seeing the potential of that energy. Then it really fast became one of my favorite energies. And I always love the underdog, right? So anyone who's struggling and suffering, I'm your gal. I love you. I'm going to champion you. I'm going to help you on. And I really feel that about manifestors. I feel like the conditioning is brutal and you can really very easily get into a disempowered state as a manifestor. So I feel excited to share this information with you today and my kind of observation around manifestors and how you can become more liberated, how you can become more self-empowered with that energy. And I really think it's important to talk about what can take place as a manifestor when you're a child, because that, like how you're parented and how you're understood as a child, ultimately is the root of all disempowerment as a manifestor adult. So manifestors are approximately 9% of the population, and they are non-energy beings, so same as projectors and reflectors, so they don't have that consistent sacral energy. And their aura is huge. It is big, it is expansive, it is um, you know, closed and repelling is the how it's described in human design. It's a closed aura, which is why I struggled as a projector to really gel with manifestors initially, because it's like, let me in, let me in. And the manifestor's like, no, closed, closed, don't read me. So it's a closed aura. It's a big, expansive aura. When a manifestor comes into your energy, when it comes into your environment, you feel it before you see it. It's like, I like to describe it as, um, you guys take up space, and rightly so. Okay, so and the repelling aspect of your aura comes from the fact that you take up so much space, you almost push other people into themselves. So it's like you're kind of pushing people into looking at themselves, which is uncomfortable for a lot of people who don't want to go inward and they don't want to look at themselves inwardly. So it is a very big, expansive, um huge energy. Okay, so you take up space. Your aura takes up space, and it's closed. So people can often perceive the manifestor energy as disassociated, disconnected. Um, People can also perceive the manifestor energy as like almost being non-emotional, like quite difficult to read, that kind of vibe. Another aspect of being a manifestor is you really know no bounds and you really know no limits, and again, quite rightly so. So when I'm describing these traits and characteristics of a manifestor, this is it. Like, this is who you came here to be, and your first sense of liberation is to own that. Okay, so to own that expansive aura, to own the fact that you push people inwards to themselves, and almost without you even saying anything, you are having people confront aspects of themselves that they don't want to. Okay, so and you are, no bounds. There are no limits for manifestors. And that's why I want to talk about childhood, because a manifestor child has the capacity to figure their way through life without any parental guidance. Okay, so they have this kind of free spirit, this nature of just knowing what to do, when to do. Like, my manifestor child eats when he's hungry, not when I say it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. He's homeschooled because he chose that was the path for him. So like they just have this knowing of what's best for them. Okay, now it sounds amazing, right? And Now I understand my manifestor child. It is amazing to witness. But when you are not really aware of energetics, when you're not really aware of like how your energy is perceiving other people's energy, and you have this manifestor child, you can perceive them as being the naughty child. Okay. So the child who colors outside of the lines, the child who won't listen to the rules, the child who won't follow the instructions. And again, remember what I've just said, quite rightly so, because you guys are here to live outside of the limits. But saying that to a child who has to conform in a school environment or a nursery environment or a play environment, and all of the boxes that need to be ticked to be a successful child in the world, you're not necessarily going to tick those boxes. You're going to be like, I don't care about those boxes. Okay. So what can happen in childhood that creates this sense of disempowerment as a manifester is you can feel controlled, you can feel limited, you can feel like you are not living up to the expectations of others. You can feel very alienated from that because you feel so different. And you can really develop a deep, 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 deep rooted emotional experience of anger in all of this. Like when manifestors feel constricted, they feel angry. When manifestors feel alienated and misunderstood, the anger comes in, okay, which is the not self-signature emotion of manifestors. So when a manifestor is feeling angry, that's when you know there's misalignment taking place. Okay, so the manifestor's aligned emotion is peace, right? And in order for you to be liberated, to reach that sense of peace as a manifestor, you need to really follow your strategy of informing before you take action. Okay, so what that looks like in childhood is saying to your parents, this is what I fancy doing. Like, is that okay? So there, as a child, there's like a little bit of a permission element that still doesn't sit well with the manifestor, but allows for less resistance. Okay, so I encourage my manifestor boy to communicate. It's like, don't just get up and do the thing, right? Because that's going to lead to your energy being misunderstood, right? So, for example, if we go out for a family meal, and I find it funny now, I used to find it quite irritating before I understood human design. But if we go out for a family meal, when he's done, he's done. He like gets up, puts his coat on, goes and sits in the car. And it's like, where's he gone? So it leaves people feeling confused. Okay. So if you are a manifester and you haven't been raised by a parent who's aware of your manifestor energy and who's supporting you and nurturing you to communicate, to inform people, okay, so you can cultivate a relationship that enhances your ability to reach a sense of peace. If you don't have that, you're going to have been brought up in an environment that's felt very controlling, and you felt very controlled, and you felt very misunderstood. You're going to be living as an adult who's quite an angry manifester, and whose behavior and beliefs and cycles is rooted in that anger. Okay, so that's going to manifest for you as a manifester. So to be liberated as a manifester adult is to just see your childhood for what it was. Like, if only human design was taught in schools to parents, to, if only, like, that's the vision. That's the vision that we need to hope for. So if you have felt controlled in your childhood, controlled by your parents, just, it is what it is. Like, let's just bless and release that. And let's move forward, begin to liberate ourselves as manifestors by tapping into our communication, by informing people of what we are doing before we take action. Okay, so that avoids this misunderstood aspect where it can lead to anger. So if you just want to leave the room, for example, like I encourage my son to say, I'm done now, I'm going to go and sit in the car. Okay, so and that just leaves us all, the rest of the family, at peace to know where he's gone. So for you as a manifester, inform before you take action. You will feel a whole shift, right? When you inform people, you transform your experience of yourself, you transform their experience of you. So inform, communicate, communicate, communicate before you take action. We're not communicating for permission, by the way. You're just communicating to create least resistance in others. Okay, if people still resist you after you've informed, so be it. You know, the manifestor energy is like Marmite. You're not here for, I mean, all of us are not here for everybody, but when you inform people, you've done the job. Like, you're on the pathway of alignment, and you're going to feel a deeper sense of peace internally, which is, you know, the emotional experience that you are headed for. Like, that's your north node. That's your north star. Rather, not your north node. It's your north star in life, is to feel a deep sense of peace. So to avoid anger and to embody a sense of peace, inform before you take actions. That's like bringing the strategy of the manifestor, which is inform before you take action, together with the signature emotional traffic light system of the manifestor, which is when you are in a red traffic light, like stop, it's when you're feeling anger, and a green traffic light for you is peace. Okay. Now, being unapologetic is also something that's going to liberate you as a manifestor. And I want you to contemplate. So contemplation for you is, where have you taken an action or minimized yourself or silenced your voice or hidden your passions and the things that light you up because you've been worried about how you might be perceived by others? Because liberation for you as a manifestor comes through being an unapologetic version of yourself, right? And you're not just doing this for yourself, okay? You are doing this for yourself and for the collective, because the mental dilemma of the manifestor is like, who am I impacting? Okay, you are here to impact people. And you are here to impact people with your inhibited, limitless, unapologetic existence. Okay. And you are either going to positively impact people, or you are going to, I hate the word negatively, but that's, you know, that's where we're at. You're going to negatively impact people. Okay. And either way, the job is done. If you positively impact someone, job done. If you negatively impact someone, job done. So getting into that sense of being liberated around sharing a very authentic sense of self, a very authentic expression of yourself, is going to really release a lot of decades and decades of suppressed emotions, first of all, but suppressing yourself. Okay, so what manifestors tend to do is they try and stuff this big massive aura, they try and make it smaller, they try and stuff it into their pockets, they try and stuff it inwardly. So when you become unapologetic, you're releasing that aura out into the world, okay? And you are fulfilling your collective role, because each of these aura types have a collective role to play. You are fulfilling your collective role of impacting people. Okay, so why would you not want to do that? Why would you stop yourself from impacting others? Because that's why you're here. That's why you were born into this aura type of being a manifestor. So just to kind of summarize for you guys, you awesome manifestors, make peace with the past. Okay, let it go. Let it go. Being misunderstood in the past, you know, thankfully human design is quite mainstream now, so more and more people are really going to understand you. And I encourage non-manifestors to listen to this also. And I encourage everyone to learn about everybody, learn about the projectors, learn about the generators, reflectors, manifesting generators, because that's going to allow an incredible opportunity to develop deeper relationships with others. But as a manifestor, make peace with the past, let it go. Okay, moving forward, inform before you take action, not for approval, just so everyone knows where you're going, where you're headed, what you're doing. Okay, to create this sense of less resistance in people around you, and be unapologetic. Like, how can you be more you each and every day?